maybe when Edward come and finish his part, we will look at how to continue from what we're going to left off today. So let's say if you have a shape file and you need to put in a database, render it on, let's say, a map layer like Geoserver or whatever, put it on Geoserver and then can display it on any of your applications. Just give you the foundation today. When Edward finishes soon, we can just come back with the other details on top of it. So let's see this. I will share my screen, then we look at what we need to do.
Okay, now your mic is muted.
Okay, now I think I found, yes. So in effect, what we need to do is that, let's say, if you want to design application like this in any form, let's say you want to, regardless of the language that you want to use, this maybe you have a shape file that you can open in QGIS, but QGIS is just a localized file that you can open only on your machine. But if you want to design web applications to display this kind of data, what you need to do is that you need to first be able to put your data in a database first, or you can put it, because the tools that I have, you can just put the file also in a file server and then point your application, which is the front end, to be able to pick it from the server. So basically there are three components that is involved: the database, the web server that will be used to serve the data, and the application that will render the data in the front end. So this, what you see here, is basically made of these three components that I was speaking about. So let's say you have these parcels, you want to display them in various colors and other things to show status. Let's say you have you have data you want to differentiate between, let's say, owner occupied and, let's say, tenant occupied. You have to show, let's say, gender. You can use all these things to display this, and pictorial, it gives the information that you put there even much more than the statistics that you may provide. So next, we're going to look at how you can get some of this to build it. If Edward come and finish early, you might look at how to bring it to the front end in Django, which we may look at the foundation of that today. So first thing you need to do is that if I have any shape file, I'm going to share my other screen for you as well. So basically, this is what you're looking at. You want to do something like this. If you click on the parcel, it gives you some information on it. Say, gives you some details on a particular land and give you details on it. So any parcel that you click will give you some details on it. So basically, if you want to do this, this is how you go about it. First of all, I'll stop sharing the screen, share again. So this QGIS, so you have some data that you have that you can actually link it in here and use it like normally, because most of you already use that already. Next thing is here, this is the database. This one is 2.1.8, but there's a current version which is 3.0. The interface looks a little different, but mine is 2.18. So here we have various connections to different databases of which you can add and subtract from it. So what to do is that you can go here. These are my connection. If you want to make a connection to your Postgres, you can go and do a connection to a Postgres by opening and do the new connection. You provide all the information that you need to connect your database in here. So if I want to import a shape file into the database, so let's try one of them. I think I should have some database, some shape files here. Okay, so let's look at downloads and see whether we can get any shape file that we can use. Okay, so let's say we have a shapefile of this nature that we have it where we have it, where is the shapefile itself? This is the shapefile itself. We drag it here. So we drag it there, then we set the reference. I think the reference is not set. This should be okay. So this is the coordinates and the parcel that we are dealing with. If you want to move this into a database, you can first make a connection to the database. I have some already here. So what I will do is that I'll just connect to one of them. Let's see, this, I will provide my, apparently this connection is, let's make a new connection. New connection, then you type new DB, and then I say which service. This one is not mandatory. Host is local hosts. Then port is this database is so this, you have to look at your Postgres to be able to do that, which let me open my Postgres here. Okay, so let's do it in a way that you understand. I'm going to database, I'll create a new database. So I'll just go create a new database, and then I will say it's say Ghana Geospatial Society _ database, and then I'll save it. So by default, when you save any database, it doesn't have it doesn't have the geo dependency installed by default. So if you want to do that, you right click on this and you go to, you get a new, let's say a new window on it, which you can go back here and get it. When you get a new window, you need to create the special extension on that database. So we say create extension. Then post GIS. Then you put your comma there, you execute this, it brings a special extension upon that database that you've created. So now we can deal with it. So what we need to do is that we want to make connection to this in our QGIS. So here you go, the DB has changed. Okay, this one is still can be the same thing. There's a DB here that we need to specify. We are doing GGS _ DB. And then we're going to test our username and password on it. We're going to test connection to see. For the purpose of this, I will test connection to see. Oh, it's not correct. Okay. It looks like there's an issue with the database. The login credentials is not what is in here. So okay.
Try from PG admin.
Is that one?
Try from PG admin.
Yeah, the PG admin is going to work, but this thing has to display over here for us to be able to move the files into it.
Yeah.
So let's see if you have tried this one. Let me see. Because this is a higher version with 15 Postgres from version 14 upwards. What they have introduced a new authentication method, which is different from the normal from 9 to 12. That one is a different login method. That's why this one is not able to connect.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why all these databases has not been able to connect. Okay, it will not run. It will not run. So, but what we need to do is that let me show all these ones cannot move. So what is that from the database perspective here? What you can do is that we're going to migrate the database into it. Let's see, I will organize, I think another session, then you look at how to migrate into it. But if you're able to migrate a database, let's use an existing one, which I already have data into it. And it's like this one, where we have your special database on it, which is something like this. So what you need to do is that let me use something like this, which is a database with this column. So it has numeric and other attributes on it. What to do that, the most important part of it is that we need to get a geom column on it, which is defined by default. And one most important aspect is to get an SRID, which defines which coordinate system the data that you are importing in is. When the application, the data gets to the database, let's see some content of it. Let's see. You see that the data is there. You can actually view it in QGIS. You can actually view it in the Postgres environment. So let's say if you select all these ones, let's see the ones that are in this. Oh, so if you select, let's select about some few ones, or when you click view, you see the parcels that are here. If you select more, you see more. Okay, so that's how it will display it here. And if you click on it, you should be able to see the details of it, even within Postgres, without going to any other application. Postgres, I think from 12 upwards, we have this functionality in there that you can view the particular process in here. So the next thing that we will look at it is that we need to connect the database to GeoServer, which we can also have an extensive training on how to use GeoServer. So what you need to do is that you install GeoServer from the online. When you go there, you say it's free. GeoServer is open source. You can just go and say you want GeoServer. They have Windows version, they have iOS, Mac version. You can go there and download it for free. You can download, I think the current version is 2.32. You can go there and download for free. Okay, and then can use this to save your application. I have downloaded a version of it, not spending much time. What I would do is that I'll just log into the GeoServer. Where is it? Okay, so I can do it here. Mine, so if you install it on your port that you want. I have installed mine on local hosts, colon this, and I get my GeoServer, I open it, and then I can enter in. So this is how GeoServer looks like. And then what you need to do is that we need to save the data from the database onto this application and then render it. So most of the time what we do is that you just go to the, we have this, before you set up everything, first you need to create a workspace. A workspace is the first item that you create. So you go there, you create a workspace. Any of the workspace that you want to, you can take it and then you can do it. After you have created a workspace, the next thing is that you go and then create a data source. A data source is the most important thing that you need to be considered about. After you create a workspace, which does not require a lot of work, you can go there and go to data store. So the data store is where you actually, sorry. Is when you actually choose which type of data you want to use, whether it is files or whatever. So let's go to stores and see. So the stores, you indicate whether you are using a shape file from it directly on the machine, or you are using a geo package, which is one of the extension in QGIS, which can also bring in directly onto this one. You can also do it from a Postgres database, where you can use connect directly to a database. That's what we are using at this moment. And then other things, and you can do shapefile direct and other information. The most also important thing I need to know that we can also save GeoPackage and then GeoTIFF and other things. So if you have an imagery that you are using, you can just import it here. Let's say you have bought a satellite imagery, or you have an auto photo and other things that you want to overlay on your application. You can actually come here and then put it on this GeoServer. So this one is like a web server that's going to render all your map to various applications. So let's say if you have a data and you want to save and you put it on GeoServer, you can have about 15 or 20 applications using this GeoServer at the same time on the web. You can deploy this on a web application or on a VPS or whatever, and then anybody can access. So if you have students, you want them to access this, you can do it for them. If you have other people who want to collaborate in your work that you do, you can use it to save it and you can have access. One is asking, what is the GeoServer different from data? What GeoServer role that is playing in this web application development? GeoServer is serving only the data. The Postgres is a database that holds the data only, but GeoServer is making it available to be served on the interface and other applications that you can use. Okay, so it serves it. So it connects the GeoServer will connect to it and then serve the data. So for instance, this one, let's say if you want to connect your Postgres, you can click here and then you can specify or you can choose the list that you have created for. Let's say GHIS or this thing. You create it, you specify all the information on it. When you are done, what you do is that you do it, it will connect all the database. So let's choose one data source that we have used, and then you click here, you see that this is workspace. Let's go to data store. So and you go here, it will show you all the details. Sorry, that's down. This is the data source. It gives you all the connection information that was in there, and then how you'll be able to connect to it. After it, when you go to layers, so all the tables that you have in your Postgres will come as layers. And then you can be able to, so let's say if you go to a particular layer that you want to add, you will see your workspace and your layer itself, which is here. So all the data we have in the database will come as tables that you can add. So what you do is if you want to publish any of the layers, what you do is that you go there and then you say, okay, publish, which I think this one will be just going through. If you want to learn, you can get some time, go through it, where you can go there, publish the layer, and then you can actually see which coordinate system that is in, and then be able to publish it here. These are all parameters that you can also use to publish it, the attributes that will be on it. And then when you are done, what you can do is that after you have done all this, you should be able to see the data layer publish. So this is a sample of some layers that have been published. If you want to see how they have the layer looks like, you can go to preview where you can see the layers. So if you go here and you say, okay, I want to see this layer. Okay, I think this layer is not showing. Let me get okay, so any of these ones, if you open it, you see that it will render for you all the data that is in this system, or it will show you how the layer will preview like. So let's see, something like this. Maybe you have some data in this. Let's see. Okay, I think it's trying to open for us. So let's say you see, these are data that has been served in. There is what we call styles, which is used to, so you see, you can do a lot of styles and other things, which, or do the coloring, or give a status to each of them that it will show differently. All of those things are done with styles. You can create different styles and say, okay, all the parcels with this, we can do it currently in QGIS. Like this parcel, I want it to be shaded. This one, I want it to change to color. This one, I want the fill to be this. This one, I want the outline to be this. All those ones, you define it at the styles, and it automatically show up on the interface for you as you want it. So now the next thing that will happen is that after we have finished all these things and you have a place like this, what you can do is that you should be able to put it in any application, whether it be in Java, Python or whatever. You can just put it inside and then it will work for you. So our next thing that we will do today, I think because of Boma's listening, we will end today early, like 8 o'clock we close, and then possibly we'll prepare for a full session that we show you. This one just to give an idea and what you can do with it. the next thing that you do is that you can create a Django application that has a geospatial interface, or you can create an application like the one I showed you earlier, which has the capability of this. So what we have done is that we've given you how these things came about and how you can get into this. So you can render all your parcels on a page and then even put Google backgrounds on it. So let's say, in case I want to see this under Google, I can just do like this, and then all the background become Google. I can see, this parcel is falling here, this one is doing that. If I have several shape file layers, I can put on it, save on my application for others to see, and then other people to also be able to consume and use. Those who are in organization that need to be able to save data for people. The good thing with this one, if you save data in this manner, nobody can copy it. But if you put data directly by copying for people, people can copy the data. But if you want data that people cannot copy, then you can use this one. This one, you can just interact with it, put it in QGIS itself. You can actually render this GeoServer information in QGIS without you having ability to download it or collect, pull the data. So basically, this is how GeoServer Postgres is going to run the database. In future, the application is already there, but I think because of today's system, you will look at the modalities of how to create an application next time.
Your mic is muted, John. Christiama, your mic is muted. Hello, John, your mic is muted. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, Michael is, so we have, I think we've created a sample Django application that uses and open the thing in GeoServer, which is going to also be something we can create going forward. We created something under this, which helps you to be able to see how to render this GeoServer image into your applications, where you can see all of that. So we've put that one perspective. When we finish, possibly Friday, if we're able to get through Bombers on, we can have a showcase of this and finalize our training section on this. So those of you who are interested, come on Friday and then we see whether we can break even on this. On that note, I think today's section, I will end today's section here, and then if there are any questions, I'll take them, then we can move on. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, if there are some questions, we can bring them up.
Thank you, John, for the information given us tonight. Well, it seems to be very fast. I'm just considering it to be so because if you are new to it, it will be very difficult to grab it because you are going very fast. But that's my side of it. But well, I don't know the others anyway. Those who are very new to Postgres, new to QGIS, new to GeoServer, all the configurations for the three platforms, how they were able to cope with. Unless, of course, maybe there's going to be another runoff of this whole exercise for us to get to the end of it, for us to continue of what you showed for the Django application and fine. Because I know today you are not prepared for this. You are just showing us an overview of what can be done in bringing these three platforms into play, the QGIS, GeoServer, and then the Django application, and 7 geospatial data on the web. So we are talking of WebGIS now, but I don't know whether there's going to be another session where you take us through this one again after maybe Boama has come in, and then we'll take it from there. But by that time, we might have gotten the nitty-gritties of these three platforms, how it is configured, how you can create, how you can connect, and all that. I don't know. That's my view. For me, I don't have a problem per se, but maybe the others.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Boafu. Yes, let's take from the others before we get a response from.
That is it, right? Okay.
Yes. So please, can we hear from the others too?
This is very interesting. The way our senior man was just moving left, right corner, it's very interesting. But I see it to be like it's very involving. You need to really take your time if you really want to go into web application, where you should be able to be familiarize yourself with some of the servers and some of the database softwares and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, and even though he was moving fast, but I think the concept is there. All that he was trying to do probably was to you to be able to display your shape files or data through the web, and then probably have the query as and when you want it. So I think it's interesting, even though he moved very fast, but it's interesting. And then I think it's also very involving. So this particular section probably will not give us the opportunity for you to dive into it. If there is going to be another opportunity for us, that will be fine. And then we'll say hallelujah. If not, then probably he can guide us with some sites and other materials that we'll be able to build upon ourselves small. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, as we are thinking of hallelujah, let me get from some comments from other persons. So today, yes, we want to hear others speak. Let's make it a little interactive today. Yes, I see from Nathaniel, he says it will actually take a bit more time to grab the whole concept. It won't be bad if another session will be organized again. That's from Nathaniel. Yes, so let me, Dr. Marianchi, maybe you want to hear your voice today. Yes, madam.
The thing is, I don't have QGIS installed on my machine.
Okay.
So I've been following, but I've not practiced it.
Okay.
Or the web application, I don't need the installation, do I?
You need to install the GeoServer as well.
The GeoServer alone, without
Then you already have the Django. So it's a combination of the GeoServer, the Django, and then he was viewing it in the QGIS before serving it onto the web.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, I'm just picking the feedback, and then we'll see how we can plan.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Doc. Yes, Akwesi.
Okay, on my side, I'm okay, but I'm thinking about the others who are not familiar with the database softwares. Maybe if you have another section that will maybe handle the database creation and other things, then we take them one after the other. Right? It's like with this section, we've combined a series of things, and people who are not familiar with such applications will be a bit lost, and they may not catch up quickly. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Noted. And then Ishmael. Hello, Ishmael.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please, we want to hear everybody's comment on today's session, and then we'll plan a much more detailed session to handle it.
As my seniors have rightly said, for me, I'm a bit familiar with the QGIS, but not that of the Postgres and the Django.
Okay.
So as they rightly said, if another session will be organized for us, to be of help.
Yes. Yes, sir. Please, is that Inspector Ishmael?
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, I got it right. Yes. Aha. Yes, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, and then I think we've gotten everybody's response. John, I think from the consensus and me being the president and you being the chairman of your working group, I think let's allow your other colleague to finish with this, and then we get another master class for this, because I think there must be a master class to deal with some aspect of the QGIS, the Postgres, then the Django, and maybe, yes. And then I think you may be bringing in open layers as well. Am I right, John?
Michael, yes, that's fine. So what we do is that, like the components that are involved, we can strap it up and then do it one after the other. So we can do Postgres, can do QGIS, we can do the GeoServer, we look at open layers and all the technologies that is involved, pick it one after the other, they master it, and then you bring all of them together for them to understand how they work together. We can do that.
Good. So we'll organize another master class to take care of all of this so that we can have time for everybody.
Yeah, I think this is really something that is a must learn for all the people who are interested in geospatial activity, because when you finish putting the data on your machine, you need to be able to serve it for other people to have access and to be able to use. And most coming, like say, technologies and other things, people will be going this way.
Yes, so maybe can we look at something? So after this, can we work on a data sharing platform where various agencies can share data, but nobody can edit it among the Ghana Geospatial Society? So as an outcome of like the next masterclass, so that when you sign, you can have everybody sign up, but nobody's data can be copied by anybody. So you can see it, you can view it in your QGIS, but you can't edit it. I think in that way, everybody's data is protected. Then the geospatial data policy that we've been working with, then we can comfortably try and champion it. That's what Lands Commission has been trying to champion for some time. Kwabena Boafo,
Yeah.
Don't you agree with me?
I do. I do.
Because allowing someone to give you that data nowadays is a headache. Nobody wants to release their data. So
That's the
if we
thing.
are able to create services, then they consume the service. Nobody has the data. At least we can get a server that holds the service.
Yes, I think it is as a result of this issue that people don't want to release their data that I think somewhere during the lab period, we're trying to establish a metadata repository for the whole country. But that one too did not even materialize, so that we don't actually come for the data, but you describe what you have, then we put it in a repository where people will get to know where they can find what. So maybe going forward, if we are finding it difficult in getting the data itself, we may discard that idea, but try to create a metadata repository. So that at least if we have the base, the thumbnails or whatever they call it, we can display that one and then give a vivid description of where we can find what. So maybe going forward, we can do something in this application that we are learning here and try to create a metadata repository rather, instead of the data itself. To form the basis of our geospatial data infrastructure sort of, or our data clearing house. But it will be the description of where the data is residing, which company, or the purpose, to describe everything in detail. The people can go in there to get access to it. And then they will give it to you based on their own terms or whatever it is.
Good. So that if the time is free for you to use the service, you're able to put the service. If you need to pay for it, I'm sure we can put a layer on it for those who need to pay. They pay that token, and then they are set for that period of time. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think
it's also possible
that this particular working group can then look at championing. Let's see, what do you think?
Yes, I'm fine with it. So let's decide it. Let's know when we can do that, and then the number of things that is involved. Then we can plan towards it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So I think you and then your chairman, you can plan it, and then we can get another set of flyers to go by it, and then we will see how it goes. Because I don't think it is something that we can do in a day or two. It must take some.
Oh no. Yeah, to take some time.
Yes.
And then, yes.
Good. So let me do my little publicity. So yes, as the president of Ghana Geospatial. Yes,
Hello.
there's some question. Yes, Doc.
Yeah, so as we are planning to reschedule it so that we can understand well, please, before that time comes, let us know the essential software we will need to install before we come, because when we start like that and then now we are going to look for what to install, it also slows some of us down. So prior to that, let us know what to install before we come to class. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. Yes, so John, I think you've gotten that.
Yes, I've got that. So what we can do is that in order to make it comfortable, what we can do is that if it is, let's say we are doing 5 or 2 days, in the days we're going to plan within it, maybe a day to do the installation of the softwares so that we can assist everyone who is installing to be able to install. Or we can give the materials, the required software to you. Those who can install, will install. The first day that we come, we are not going to do any training. We are going to help those who have not been able to install so that we make sure that everybody is on the same page before we start off.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good. So let me do my announcement. And I've been announcing that we'll be having our conference in November, the Ghana Geospatial Society, professional body for GIS practitioners. And then we are admitting everybody who is practicing GIS, who has learned GIS. But for you to be admitted or inducted, at least you need to register. So if you look in the chat, you can see the website, www.ggs.org.gh. You go there, you create an account, and then you register, and you send in your details. And I think a number of you have registered. They have been, their documents have been reviewed and accepted. A few have been queried that they should update 1 or 2 documents that are missing so that we can get everybody inducted. This year, we don't intend to examine anybody. We want to just evaluate the documents and admit everyone. The subsequent years, we'll be looking at introducing some form of examination, maybe just a project or based on the level of entry. But then this year, yes, we want to make it easy for everyone. So kindly go to the website, create an account. When you create the account, a code and a username, like your email address and a password will be sent to you. You use it, you reset, and then you register, load the documents that are necessary, and then you submit it. And then it will be reviewed, and then you get response. Dr. Mary, did you get response from them?
Yes, I have registered successfully. I
good.
every document you requested. So
yeah, and then you got some response as well.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So actually, it's been reviewed, and then people have been admitted. So let us do that so that we can all get admitted. Thank you very much. Yes, so it's open for everyone. So that we are not limiting it to just a few people. And when you register, there are various working groups. They are like divisions in the Ghana Geospatial Society. So we allow that you are able to join 2. But in the application stage, you can select 3, but then you'll be allowed to join 2. For the security services, you have a special one for you. That's a Geo Intel. So there's where we have all the military, the police, and those incepts coming together. And then special training sessions will be held, because we understand not all their training sessions must be in public, because some of their things, they don't want all of us to be involved. But then they are allowed to join us to learn our things as well. So we are open, you join any, even though you join those other working groups, you can still join all the training sessions from any other working groups as well. So thank you very much for joining today's session. We hope to see you tomorrow. Edward said he'll be in tomorrow. Yes, he was actually admitted, but he's been discharged and he's being, Alice is getting better. So God willing, he'll be with us tomorrow, and then we'll continue.